Hello. So in the last video, I fixed up this Samsung S9 that had a cracked screen, cracked back, and I put in a new battery as well. In this video, I'm going to be making the back panel clear so you can see through it, and I'm also going to be fixing some issues and mistakes from when I repaired this in the past. So first of those issues is that I broke the headphone jack, and the second one is that it turns out this camera had a slight defect. This was not caused by anything I did. It was like this when I bought the phone, but I didn't. It when you open the camera app, you can hear the camera sort of vibrating, and occasionally the view in the camera will vibrate or it won't focus right or something like that. It's mostly okay, but new cameras are very cheap. They're only about $2, and the new headphone jack was about 75 cents. So I may as well replace those while I'm at it. And then the other issue is that I forgot a screw. I lost a screw when I was repairing it. So I've got everyone's favorite phone, the junk Galaxy S6 Edge from ages ago. I'm going to be pulling a screw out of here to replace the one in here. Okay, let's get started. Just like in the last video, I'm going to use the 3D printer's heated bed as a hot plate to take the phone apart. I'm going to start this off with the S6, which is now nice and toasty, so oops. Well, good thing I started with the one I don't really care about, because that is not what I was going for. This is not quite going to plan. This back is just cracking into a million pieces and sending bits of glass everywhere. It's a very cheap, low-quality replacement. Fortunately, enough shards have broken away that I can see 2 screws. Honestly, I'm just going to stop messing with this anymore because I'm going to make a mess if I try to remove it the rest of the way. But let's move on to the S9. Hopefully it doesn't also do this because that's also a pretty cheap replacement. Okay, I've got the S9 heated up. Because the screen isn't cracked, I can use this tool with 2 suction cups to try and open it. And hopefully I can get a gap to get a tool in to pry. Shoot. That started causing the screen to come off, not the back, which is very much not what I want. I'm going to make sure it still works. Okay, good, it does. I'm going to stop using that strategy and start just prying on the back. And if I break the back, so what? Because that's better than breaking the screen. I have a spare back. Hey, there we go. There we go. And I didn't even break it. Yay! Gonna clean up the old adhesive from the frame. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is try and make the back clear. So I'm going to start by just removing the camera lens from the back. Shit! Well, I was so close to being able to reuse this back. Oh well. Now that it's already cracked, I'm going to see what sort of material the backing is made of and how I can scrape it off. Doesn't really seem to want to just scrape off. I'm going to experiment with acetone and see what that does. Before I do that, screw time. Yeah, this should work. Okay, screws have been screwed. So here I've poured some acetone onto the back, and now I'm using a metal tool to try and scrape away the coloring, and hoping that the acetone has dissolved it. Now I start trying to scrape it with a plastic tool in the hopes that that won't scratch the glass, but I very quickly realized that that's a very stupid idea because acetone dissolves plastic. Okay, so I've got a new back here. I'm annoyingly going to waste all of the pre-installed adhesive that it came with, but that is okay, because I have more. Now I'm going to remove the camera lens. This time I'm going to be a lot more careful. Okay, that's that off of there. I'm going to peel this back off from here. Okay, so what I was experimenting with off camera is different ways of getting the coloring off. So you saw acetone, using acetone on here and then scraping it away. That worked, but it left kind of a cloudy result where you can see it hasn't always scratched all the way through. It's not focusing right, but you can sort of get the idea. Whereas just scraping away at the edge until I could get the sticker that makes up the coloring to peel off and then peeling it off worked a lot better for me. So I think that's what I'm going to do going forward. I'm going to experiment a little more to see if isopropyl alcohol helps this process work better, and then I'll report back, and that's what I'm going to do on the non-cracked back. The alcohol ended up working pretty well, so I did end up using it, but even so, it was kind of hell. Removing the coloring from the back was definitely the hardest part of this whole project. Oh my god. Okay, well that was really unpleasant to do, but I got it off. Now I have a clear back, so I'm going to go and wash this off and then do the rest of the repairs to the phone. With the back finished, it's time to replace the camera and headphone jack inside the phone. So the first thing I'm going to do is remove the mid frame just like last time. Okay, so that's the old headphone jack out. I've got a new one here. I'm a little bit worried because the old headphone jack says Star, which is the code name for the Galaxy S9, and then NA, whereas the replacement says Star and then EUR. So this might be for a European phone. It may or may not still work. I'm actually going to test that now. Let's plug in the battery and fire the phone up. Okay, so I've been messing with the headphone jack a bit, and I've realized it was never broken. I assumed it was broken because when I plugged in a pair of headphones and adjusted the volume, I heard the little volume adjust beeps through the speakers, but it turns out that is just how it's supposed to work. This is kind of a strange design decision, but I don't know, it works. When I actually go to play sound, it comes through the headphones. It works with both headphone jacks. I ended up using the old headphone jack rather than the new one because the old one says NA on it and the new one says YUR on it. Even though both headphone jacks work for audio, sometimes parts like this have little antennas in them, and if you use one for the wrong region, the antennas won't work quite right and the cell reception won't be as good as it normally would be. But the old headphone jack was missing the rubber gasket for water resistance, so I moved that over from the new one. Anyway, now that that's done, it's time to swap the cameras. So I'm going to take the board out because the cameras connect on the bottom of the motherboard, and get going on that. Got the camera out of here. Here's the new one. So I took a brief interlude to glue the camera lens and the fingerprint reader into the new frame, which was a surprisingly large amount of effort. But now that's done, so I'm going to go back to putting the phone back together. Let's plug in the battery. Attach the mid frame. Okay, let's fire up the phone and make sure that the camera works. I'm going to peel off this little protective covering over the camera. Camera seems to work as it should. I'm going to get out new display adhesive. Sorry, not new display adhesive, new back adhesive. Okay, so I think that's done. The phone works. It is clear. I am happy with this result. Okay, that's it. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.